So today I am doing a live stream for the potential Republican candidates, and we are first going to wait for some viewers. But so yeah, we have all the potential candidates. Let me scroll down here, and we actually have a bunch. I found a very good list for it, stretching all the way from Rand Paul to Tucker Carlson to Andrew Yang to Tom Steyer to Michael Bennett to J.D. Pritzker to Cory Booker to Eric Adams to Ben Shapiro. So we really have a very wide range of people here, and it will be very, very exciting to look at. Hello, person. W. So true. This is a major W. Live stream. I just have to upload my my thumbnail, which will only take 1 second. But thank you for joining me tonight. And yeah, so since we have our viewer, we will get started in just a second. Let me just desktop. Okay, so the first candidate we have is Rand Paul, and I honestly don't think that Rand Paul would do that well. He is very libertarian, like his father, Ron Paul, and he really won't be acceptable to independents at all. I really don't see him having that much of a Rust Belt appeal either, like Trump did in 2016. He's not going to do that well with the white working class, and but he will do well in the South. He'll carry Georgia, he'll carry North Carolina, he'll carry Florida, and he'll carry Texas, which is something. And I really do think he has a shot at winning the state of Arizona. So I would put him at mediocre just because if he was facing off against Biden in 2024, he would likely get a narrow win. SJ Production says, "Yo, this is amazing. People usually do only Democrats or Republicans separately, but now think you did this." Okay, so this is Samuel Jean. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Samuel Jean Productions. Hello, Samuel Jean. I'll try to remember that it's you. And yeah, so yeah, of course you're welcome for doing both of these. So yeah, so again, this is all if they were running against Biden in 2024, and if Biden is at the same approval rating, then really a lot of these people will do very well. It's different for Democrats because, of course, they're not running against Biden in a general election, but it's more so how they would do against Donald Trump in a general election, or other kind of normal Republicans. Minnesota Prediction says, "Hey, I really don't think I'm gonna have any guests on. I'm sorry, I just don't feel like it because of the situation I'm in right now." And plus, I just I don't want my opinion to be swayed. So okay, I'm sorry everyone. Had to talk some. Oh my God. Okay, sorry about that. I promise I won't be back. No, you have COVID? Oh, I'm sorry for you. Yeah, if there was, I couldn't. You have COVID. Wow. Okay. I hope it's not bad. It's not. Yeah. Hopefully, it's not bad. These cases now they don't seem to be as as like doesn't make severe. Is the word I'm trying to find. Anyway, let's go down the list. Mike Pompeo is next, and I mean honestly, he's going to do slightly worse than Rand Paul because Rand Paul might get some libertarian votes, but Mike Pompeo really will not do well with independents at all. And I mean, just the fact that Rand Paul is a senator. People are governors, senators, representatives, lieutenant governors, whatever it may be. They have political positions. Mike Pompeo does too, but he was appointed by Donald Trump. He wasn't elected anything. He was appointed, and voters will not like that. All right, that's my message I want to get out right now. Voters will not like that, and I think that would put him in the bad column. He's not going to do well with the white working class. He's not going to do well in the South. He won't do well in Arizona because of how aligned with Trump he is. He's, being put in the bad column. In my opinion, the only way I could see Biden winning the next election is by winning a major war against China or Russia. I agree. Yeah, and at Minnesota predictions, hope you feel better. I also agree with that. Yeah, so really, always crisis causes an unpopular president to be reelected, so that is what Biden kind of needs. Alright, so Kristi Noem is next, and I'm gonna put her in very bad just because she is so, so out there, so radical. She wanted to put Trump on Mount Rushmore, believe it or not, and just stuff like that will turn voters away. I really don't need to talk about this one much. You guys know who she is, the governor of South Dakota. She is too conservative for most people. So Andrew Yang is next, and he would be a third party candidate, and I will put him at oh, I'm trying not to be unbiased here because Andrew Yang is kind of my man. Um but I mean, here's the case for Andrew Yang. My thing is with Andrew Yang is that no third party candidate is going to do that well, and I want to give him extra points because I feel like he's one of the few third party candidates to do, something. But I mean, ultimately, he's not going to come close to a win as of right now. So I will put him in bad, but his message is definitely going to get across with the forward party and the two-party system being terrible and corrupted and being controlled by money. So Tucker Carlson is next. I'm going to put him a level below because, he is so, so radical. He says crazy things. People love him, but he will not win a single independent. He's not going to win a single Democrat. He's not going to appeal to the white working class because the white working class is pretty moderate to conservative. And let me turn my volume down. And, he's just not going to have a wide base at all. So I will put him in horrible. Tom Cotton is next. I'm going to put him at, mediocre. He's not, anything good. He's not anything special. He'll win that Trump base. He'll win most Republicans, but I really don't see him expanding off of anything off of that. The senator from Arkansas, by the way, so I think he's on the same level as Rand Paul. All right, so this is who is that? I don't know. I have no idea who that is. I recognize that jacket for some reason, but it's probably just in my head. I do not know who. I think she's in the Trump administration. She was in the Trump administration though. So the people I don't know, go down here. There will be. I think that's gonna be There's gonna be a few like that. I can only see 3 right now. Okay, so next is Jay Inslee, and I mean, honestly, he's going to do pretty bad. So his main message in 2020 was climate change, and that will win a few progressives, but he's a pretty boring kind of guy. He did terrible in the 2020 Democratic primary, so that alone is already telling us that he's not that good of a candidate. He was one of the first to drop out, and he's a governor. Andrew Yang, whose first campaign office was his mom's apartment, whose first campaign email list was just his Gmail list. And I mean, I don't know. But Yang lasted so much longer than Inslee. So much longer, and Inslee is the governor of Washington. So he's not going to do that well at all. He will be placed in that. I'm going to move him down to pretty bad, actually, because he won't appeal to Rust Belt workers at all. Oh, it's Elise Stefanik. That makes sense. I've heard of her, but still I know nothing about her, so I can't really do it. But thank you, Minnesota Predictions, for telling me. All right, next is Joni Ernst. I think that she would do pretty good. She would win a lot of the suburban moms vote because she's a suburban mom. She comes from the state of Iowa, and I mean, that will help her a lot. She'll win the Rust Belt because she is from Iowa. She'll win Iowa. She'll win Ohio. She'll win Wisconsin. She'll win Michigan. She'll win Pennsylvania. So that really will help her a lot. And ultimately, I see her capturing a lot of that Trump vote and then expanding into some moderate Democrats and independents. So I will put Joni Ernst at good. I'll put her into pretty good, actually, because she will do pretty good. Stacey Abrams is next, and I will put her in probably pretty. I'll put her in good. Because I mean, she's a woman. She is an African American. That will help her in southern states like North Carolina and Georgia. Florida is too out of reach. But yeah, I mean, the fact is that she will turn out Democrats, and really in a state or in a country that is more liberal than conservative. that will help her, and she's accepted by all Democrats, so that really will help her a lot, help her in that good column. Josh Hawley is next. Josh Hawley, he's very much a Trumpian kind of senator. I'll put him at mediocre. He's one of the two senators who voted against the is probably a late. Yeah, I agree. Maybe not 2024, but 2028 or 32. I agree with that. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. Josh Hawley is in mediocre. Oh yeah, the Asian Americans hate bill. How they were trying to stop Asian American hate. He was one of the two who voted against that. Like, really, that it's basically racist to vote against that. Anyway, so I'll move him down to bad because I really don't see him being acceptable to white working class voters either. So who is this? I think he's from California, but I don't know exactly who it is. Does anyone know in the chat who this guy is right here? It would be really helpful. So, anyway. Okay, I'll just wait for him, but I think that's one of the few that I don't know, also. Alright, so Joe Kennedy III is next, and he's just gonna be seen as a classic Eastern lib, and I don't see him, kind of fulfilling that Kennedy legacy that RFK and JFK and Ted made. And he just looks like a Massachusetts Irishman. He won't be acceptable to white working class voters in the Rust Belt. He won't be. He will do well among African Americans in the Senate Democratic primary when he ran against Ed Markey. In the Democratic primaries, he did better in the lower income African American communities. So that does show that he will do well in states like North Carolina and Georgia and Texas. However, I don't think that it will be enough. I don't see him winning Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Iowa, or Ohio. And I honestly think that Nevada and Arizona are also up for grabs for the Republicans. So Larry Hogan is next. Larry Hogan is probably he's definitely one of my favorite governors in America. He's probably around second or third. And I mean, I really love the guy. So I'll try not to be unbiased here. But I think that he would do probably pretty bad because he is an anti-Trump Republican. And I mean, Trumpian Republicans, if they will need to be willing to vote for an anti-Trump Republican in 2024 if one is nominated, because they can't just stand by Trump all the time. They're going to have to accept that they might. Minnesota prediction says mediocre. Yeah, but Trumpian Republicans, they are not the type to admit or to be willing to vote for the other side. Larry Hogan is great. It's just that he isn't the best candidate. Yeah, that's true. He is part of a divided Republican Party, and he's on the side that is not dominant in the party. And I don't see him winning a primary, but against Biden in a general election, he's going to do pretty bad because of that Trump wing and them refusing to turn out for Larry Hogan. He's going to do well among Northeastern liberal Republicans, but besides that, he really doesn't have much of a shot. Candace Owens is next. I will put her at probably very bad. I mean, just because that she's a woman and African American, that's what the Republican Party needs. I just put her in very bad because that is the message that the Republican Party needs to get out. It's that we aren't just the party of white males. Of course, she's a black female, and that will help her a lot with and strengthening the Republican Party in other elections. So, but however, she is very radical, and I'll put her at very bad. So Gretchen Whitmer is next, and she is also one of my favorite governors in America. Probably slightly above Larry Hogan, and I'll put her at very good because she won a lot of Republicans in her 2018 gubernatorial election, and she will win many Republicans in her 2022 re-election campaign. She did what she promised, get the roads fixed. She fixed the roads, and she has a great record. I've said this before. She just has a great record, and Michigan Republicans are willing to admit this, especially after the Republican scandal that just happened with them committing election fraud. Of course, they accuse the others of election fraud when they are the ones who commit election fraud. Kind of ironic, just saying. And so that alone, that will really boost her in her re-election campaign. That's going to give her a huge boost. I definitely see Gretchen Whitmer winning this race. And if she wins by a wide margin in 2022, that will help her for 2024. Candace Owens seems a little too extreme. So, of the turnout of the Democratic side. Oh, the turnout. Yeah, that's true. You're right. Hypocrites. Yes, I agree so much. That Michigan governor, who I keep forgetting her name, I see her as a future president. Yes, Gretchen Whitmer. I adore Gretchen Whitmer. I definitely could see her as a future president. I just hope she doesn't get too old and never has the chance to do it. Anyway, going to Tulsi Gabbard, I mean, I used to really like Tulsi Gabbard. I had a sign for Tulsi Gabbard in my window, actually, and I had to take it down recently after this Russia scandal. I have lost all respect for her after this Ukrainian war with Russia invading Ukraine, and especially her calling upon Mitt Romney to resign. I respect Mitt Romney so much. I don't agree with him on policy, but I respect him so much because he is willing to go against Trump, who is part of his own party, and I respect him for that. And he's one of the few really conservative Republicans who I like, or who I respect, I should say. I don't agree with him or anything. And I would feel that a moderate like Tulsi Gabbard should also respect him for that. But no, she calls him to resign. So I don't like him. I don't like her after that, and I feel that many people hasn't. Before I had her as the highest rating. Months, even possibly a year ago. No, probably not a year, but almost a year ago. But at this point, I'm going to put her at mediocre because she has lost so many people's support. Minnesota Prediction says never had any respect. I agreed with her on a lot of stuff. She's actually very progressive on some issues, but on foreign policies, she's conservative. I think that many people don't like her. Exactly. All right, moving on to Donald Trump. So, bad, not bad. Mediocre, not mediocre. Good. I wouldn't say good. I would put him at pretty good. Okay, I think that Trump, if he runs against Biden, I've done my predictions before, he wins the election. It's as simple as that. He wins. And he is able to do this by returning the white working class back to the Republican Party like he did in 2016. And he will do that again, and he will win this election against Biden. So he is a pretty good candidate. Dan Crenshaw's next. Dan Crenshaw I don't hate as much as other of this new Republican Party that has transformed into this strange, radical, weird party after Trump. And I'm going to talk about Trump in a second. I will put him in mediocre because he would have won the South, but I mean, is he getting that far? No, he's not. And I think Trump will be the next president of the USA. I wish that would happen. That's my exact thoughts. Samuel Gene, I think he will be the next president. I mean, I just said to my parents, Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the United States. It's really sad to think about, but it's going to happen. And anyway, I really think, and I'm not wishing death upon him, but I'm just saying that I think it would be really, really good for the future of the Republican Party and the future of the country if Donald Trump passes away. I think that would be ideal for the country because then there would be neoconservatives. It's going to return back. It's eventually going to return back to John McCain politics, back to Mitt Romney politics. And that is what is good for the party and America if a Republican is elected. My dad does. All right, Minnesota Prediction says my dad does not think that. That he will be elected again. He does not believe me. I mean, I did Minnesota Prediction. What do you disagree about? I don't know. All right, he'll probably respond. And I'll get on to my next person. So the next person is Tom Steyer. He did not do that well in the Democratic Party. The only, again, this is the only reason Tom Sawyer made it far. He wouldn't have had any support, but he had the money. He's a billionaire. He funded his own campaign, and you get commercials, you get campaign stuff out. And so he's going to do pretty bad. I mean, he's just not doing that well, but he does have money, so Trump impacts will be heard for a long time. Yeah, that's true, but I think that eventually it will return back to okay politics. Politics are so divided today. In decades, though, I see us becoming less divided. Yeah, hopefully. Sawyer's actually okay for me. I personally don't like Tom Sawyer that much. I agree with him on policy, but that doesn't unnecessarily mean I like him. I don't think that a billionaire is good as a president of a country. So next is Doug Ducey, who I actually like. He's a very solid governor, and I'm going to put him at good. I'm going to put him at the same level as Stacey Abrams. He has a good record, and he will turn out Trumpian Republicans, and he'll turn out independents, and he's acceptable to a lot of people. And in a country where there's a lot of independents, that'd be good. And I just want to point out that numerous polls say that 57% of Americans would be willing to vote for an independent candidate in 2024 just to make the case for my boy Yang. So, yeah. All right. Anyway, who is this? It's not Jack Chattarelli. No. I don't know who it is. Goodbye. All right. Next is Ted Cruz. All right, Ted Cruz. I'll put him at pretty bad. I mean, no one really likes Ted Cruz. Like, you've seen Republicans, you've seen Democrats, you've seen independents. Do you ever find someone who really likes Ted Cruz? No, you don't. That sticker that says, this man ain't my son. They chose Ted Cruz for a reason. Because everyone hates Ted Cruz. You can't put Doug Ducey on that sticker. You can't put Dan Crenshaw or Rand Paul on that sticker. No, you have to put Ted Cruz on it because no one likes Ted Cruz. So I will put him at pretty bad, and I think that he will do very weak against some Democratic contenders. I like Tom Sawyer, but he's a billionaire from the Democratic Party, so he definitely won't win. I agree. No, even my mom does not. Yeah, exactly. An independent is best for the country right now. I could not agree more. I mean, I really fear a Republican or a Democrat becoming president in 2024, and it's going to happen. Look, we need an independent or a third-party candidate for the sake of our country's future, because things are just going to keep going on the same. We cannot agree on anything right now, and it takes only an independent to unite people. You heard of moderate Republicans and moderate Democrats, but will that appeal to the other side? No, we have become so far left or right on either side that no one will even accept a, quote, moderate person of the other side, even if they really are moderate. No, we need someone who is an independent. Things will only get done if we get an independent. When you think about it, what has been the last big thing that the Senate, right? Yep. What has been the last thing that the Senate has been able to agree on? Nothing. They can never agree on anything. The only way that stuff gets done is if one party has a large control over a House of Congress. That's the only way, if anything, gets done. And sometimes that isn't even good because you might not even agree with it. If we have an independent Congress or many parties, things would be totally different. Things would be totally, totally different. And I've lost all respect for people who are unwilling to admit that they are wrong in Congress, who are unwilling to admit that the other side might have some good views. People who are so pro-Democrat or people who are so pro-Republican, I've lost all respect for. I hate the two-party system. Trump didn't fit my views at all in 2020. I knew that. I thought Biden fit my views, but then now I realize it was just because I hated Trump. I only liked Biden because I thought that only because I didn't like Trump so much. That is why I backed Biden. Now I don't because I realize that I and him don't have the same policy. We just do not. But because there are only two choices for president, I thought he did. That is why I supported Biden. And in hindsight, I wouldn't have. But because there are only two choices for president, I had to. There should be multiple, because if there were multiple, then there would have been one that fit my views, and I would have been able to support them. I also support something called ranked choice voting. In this, you rank. So basically, if you have 5 candidates on the ballot, then you put the number 1 for your first choice, 2 for your second choice, 3 for your first choice, third choice, and so on. And then they tally all together, and who has the highest amount of points, 5 plus 3 plus 2, whatever, plus 5, will win the election. And that, I think, will be extremely important because it's not like you're wasting your vote. So many people will not vote for a third party candidate because they think that they are wasting their vote. This happens so much. There would be so many more third party votes if people didn't feel that they were wasting their vote. So people don't vote third party because they feel that they're wasting their vote. But this will take that away because you could have a third party candidate as your top choice, but in your number 4 or in your number 2 choice, you you have the Democratic nominee or the Republican nominee. You have other people as your number 4, so then they are, you're kind of supporting both of them in the highest position. Minnesota predictions, I just hate parties. I agree, they suck. So that was just my spiel about the two-party system and how it needs to end. And let me get back into this. So Matt Gaetz would be a horrible candidate because there was a scandal that he I think he had an affair with someone, or he sexually abused someone, sexually assaulted someone, I think. So he would be horrible because, of course, the Democrats will make light of that. Chris Sununu is next, and he's a very moderate governor. However, he has lost a lot of respect from the Trumpian wing of the party, so I will put him at mediocre. He has lost a bunch of respect from that wing of the Republican Party because of redistricting. He struck down a map that favored Republicans, that unfairly favored Republicans in their new House maps. And I mean, I love Chris Sununu for that. I respect him so much for that because he realized that's undemocratic, and he struck the maps down. So I will put him in mediocre because some Trumpian Republicans will not like how he did that. However, he is an acceptable candidate to many. He will do well with white working class, and he is just will pull in the vast majority, in my opinion, of independents. So next is why can't I think of this guy's name? Come on, why isn't it coming to me? He is from the state of where who is this? Illinois. He's from Illinois, and that is geez. Do you guys know? Do you guys know in the comments? I know this guy. No, it's not Illinois. It's not in Illinois. I'm like, how is it not coming to me? Oh, I think he's from California. Is he? I'll come back to him. But yeah, please let me know who he is. So next is Andy Beshear. Andy Beshear is also one of my favorite governors. Probably, I mean, he's, probably the best governor in America. Mike Lee, you've got it exactly right. That is Mike Lee. Thank you so much. I was thinking he's a Democrat because he looks so much like a Democrat, in my opinion. I'll wait on Andy Beshear. That is Mike Lee. Thank you so much. So Mike Lee, I will put at I'll put him at mediocre because, a lot of Republicans will do well against Biden because of Biden's unpopularity. But it's not like he's anything special. and it's not like he is going to capture, new Democrats, new independents. So Andy Bashir is next, and I mean, ultimately, he is ideal for the Democratic Party. That's why there's the ideal tier. He's going to do better than very good. He is the ideal Democrat for 2024. I love governors and senators, for that matter, who are, say, Andy Bashir, Kentucky, governor of Kentucky, a deep red state, and Andy Bashir, a Democrat, won in a deep red state. And I like how Larry Hogan won in a deep blue state, even though he's a Republican. I really like people like that. And Andy Bashir is definitely a great governor, in my opinion, and people will think that also. He's similar to Gretchen Whitmer. He gets things done, and he has a good record, and that's why Republicans voted for him. People like this guy. He's young, and he is ideal for the Democratic Party. That is the message that Democrats want to get out. So I will put him at the ideal tier. Michael Bennet is next, who I also really like, but I'm going to be very biased towards him, so I know I'm going to be, so I will definitely not be biased. I mean, Michael Bennet, he's going to be seen as your typical Democrat, really, and that will hurt him and Democrats a lot. And I mean, let's just go back. Yeah, I like Hubert Humphrey, I agree. Yes, Andy Bashir. I love Andy Bashir. So where was I? Michael Bennet. Yeah, so let's look back at 2020 Democratic primary. I personally really would have liked Michael Bennet because he is moderate yet progressive at the same time. So I really like people like that. However, he did terrible. He did absolutely terrible, and he did not get his message out. That's the thing. Same thing with John Hickenlooper. They want to get their message out that they are progressives, but in pretty purple states, but they just cannot do that. So in a general election, I don't think that he would get that message out once again. I'll put him in the bad tier. I don't know who this man is. I'm not even going to attempt on that one. I have no idea who that is. Ben Sasse is next, and I will put him at bad because he's not super anti-Trump, yet he didn't always stand with Donald Trump. He's kind of like a Nikki Haley type. He was, he never had a terrible relationship with Trump, but it's not like he backed Trump 24/7. So he might win a few independents here or there, but he's not expanding his base that much outside of the Republican Party. So I will put it at that. Like Humphrey because he is well liked and he has progressive views while still having an appeal to people. I assume you're talking about Michael Bennet, and yeah, you would be totally agree with that. No, maybe you're talking about Andy. Yeah, I bet you're talking about Andy Bashir. Andy Bashir would make more sense. Yeah, you're totally right. All right, so Larry Elder is next, and I think that he would do very bad. He did very bad in the recall election, and always in California recall elections, and I mean just in recall elections in general. There's a recall because the people hate the governor, right? That's the point of a recall. However, in this recall, Gavin Newsom did better, just a few thousand votes better than he did in his first election in 2017. And yeah, okay, Andy Bashir. So Larry Elder is a failed candidate. It's as simple as that. Oprah's next. I mean, honestly, for the Democratic Party, she'd do very. I mean, it's kind of hard to project how well Oprah would do because I mean, is she winning white working class voters in the Rust Belt? She really isn't. I mean, going to minorities, Latinos, African Americans would turn out heavily for Oprah, and I think that she would win North Carolina, Georgia, Arizona, Nevada. Very similar to, this is Oprah, right? It's not Michelle Obama. She'll do very similar in the South too as Obama did, except the states that are becoming more democratic, she would win. So, I will put her at pretty good, but I don't see her being anything super crazy. Paul Ryan, this is former Speaker of the House from Wisconsin, who's okay, is next, and he is going to do mediocre. He's nothing that special, but he's pretty moderate, so he gets some points for that. I mean, conservative, but not super Trumpian. We have so many to go, so I'm going to try to speed it up. Tim Scott's next. He'll do mediocre also. He'll win, he'll do very well in the South, but not really with the white working class. Eric Trump will do pretty bad because he's just going to see him as a lesser version of Donald Trump, the first. Like, actually, Donald Trump. Yeah, Donald Trump. Like the president Donald Trump is just going to be seen as a lesser version of that, so he won't do that well. Paul Ryan, big hands, big ears. Oh, does he have big hands? Didn't see that. But yeah, he does have big ears. You were totally right by that. Andrew Cuomo's next. Horrible because of his scandal. Surrounding his. Yeah, you get it. I don't want YouTube to take down this video, so I won't say it. Ron DeSantis is next, and he is ideal for the. I'll put him in very good because he's not like there are better Republicans. Like Nikki Haley will do slightly better than Ron DeSantis in the presidential election. So Ron DeSantis is very good because he will be seen as a more moderate version of Donald Trump. He's not on policy at all. If not, he's more conservative than Donald Trump. However, he will be seen as less crazy than Donald Trump. More of a McCain Romney type. Not nearly there, but more so like that. So he will do better than Trump in an election, and he will do very good. I don't really know if Donald Trump Jr. could defeat Trump. Probably not. Yeah, I would say definitely not. Oh, Ron DeSantis is a god for the Republican Party. I agree. I would do pretty good. I mean, he's going to win so many states. He's going to win back the white working class, and he'll do well in all of the Sun Belt. Nevada, he'll win. He'll win Arizona. He'll win Texas. He'll win Florida. He'll win Georgia. He'll win North Carolina. Then he'll win the Blue Wall, of course, Iowa and Ohio. His base is literally everywhere. So that is why I am putting him in very good. Next is Kamala Harris. I'm going to put her at pretty bad. I think that she would do very bad in a general election. I mean, worse than people like Larry Hogan and Michael Bennet. People just find her annoying, and Republicans would turn out a lot for her. I mean, yeah, Republicans are just going to turn out a lot because they dislike her so much. I think that she would do worse. She doesn't have that good of a record, especially progressives. She has a progressive record, but I mean, more moderate Tulsi type Democrats do not like her. What if we had Ron DeSantis versus Andy Beshear? That would be a very close election, but I think that Beshear would narrowly carry it out if he wins Michigan and Arizona. I think that he would just be able to do it. Jon Tester. Jon Tester should be on this list, but I don't think he is. Is he? Jon Tester is an absolute legend. Don't know if he is. Jon Tester is awesome. I wish he was president. Montana Republicans are so awesome because they are so willing to vote for a Democrat, and I respect them so much for that. I love Montana Republicans. They're awesome. They elected Steve Bullock. They elected Jon Tester. They have a history of voting for Democrats. Cory Booker's next. I'll put him in mediocre because, he's going to do well in the Northeast, but he won't expand his base into the white working class. Kamala Harris is no, I thought she was good, but it turns out she has a massive. I agree with that. I haven't said this put out loud ever on my channel because I in my uploads try to keep it unbiased, but on my live streams I kind of let out my political feelings. Jon Tester looks cool. Yeah, his haircut is awesome. Classic Montana haircut. Anyway. Mike DeWine is next. He would do pretty good because he comes from Ohio. I'll put him in good. He's going to this is what he's going to do. He's going to win the Trumpian vote because he worked hard to get Trump to win the state of Ohio in 2016 and 2020. He's going to win white working class voters in the entire Rust Belt. And he is going to win moderate conservatives, independent conservatives, really just independents who are unhappy with Biden. And that's how you win. And Mike DeWine will do just that. I'll put him in, because he's not that exciting. That's the only thing. So I'll put him in good. Gavin Newsom is next. I like Gavin Newsom. His record is good. But he's, another California Democrat. We have enough of those. So I'll put him in bad. Okay. Mike Pence is next. I'll put him in mediocre because he will return a lot of McCain Republicans back to the party. However, from there, he won't win that Trumpian wing of the party. But I definitely see him being pretty popular among independents. He comes from Indiana, so he'll do well with white working class voters in the Rust Belt, and that will help him a lot. I'll put him at mediocre. Glenn Youngkin is next. I will put him at good. I'll put him at pretty good because, you have to be a pretty good candidate. You have to be a pretty darn good candidate to win the governorship of Virginia as a Republican. I'll just leave it at that. You have to be a pretty good candidate. And he labeled himself as a moderate, and that is what Virginians wanted, who are unhappy with Biden. Ivanka Trump is next. I'll put her at bad because I do think that she is slightly more experienced than Donald Trump Jr., and that will help her a lot, and that will win a few more votes, but it won't make all the difference. Next is this is Eric Trump. I will also put him at pretty bad. I think that Ivanka would do slightly better than both of them. Elizabeth Warren is next. I'll put her at bad because she will do well with progressives, but a lot of people, frankly, find her annoying. Yeah, you're right. Mike Pence is hard to predict. Anyway, so yeah, Elizabeth Warren. Back to, she'll win a lot of Bernie people, but white working class voters will not like her. Minorities were never crazy about her. African Americans, some women will turn out for her, but it won't be enough, and she won't expand her base that much out of northeastern liberals. Next is Eric Adams, who I don't see doing that well. I'll put him at bad. He isn't that great of a governor. And that's mostly all I have to say. Most people don't like him that much, especially Democrats. They're not crazy about him. Of course, Republicans dislike him. And he's not a great governor. And that's just not my opinion. A lot of people think the same. So Amy Klobuchar is next. She has she will do well in the Midwest and the West Belt, which is very good. So I will put her at mediocre, but she's not very exciting. That's the only thing about Amy Klobuchar. She's not exciting at all. And that will hurt her in a general election. Warren wants to be Michelle Obama and Bernie. Yeah, you're exactly right about that. She does want to be Michelle and Bernie at the same time, kind of mixing the two. Definitely not Elizabeth Warren. She only had a chance 2020. Yeah, she would be really old in 2024. You're actually right. But, honestly, she's only at bad. She's not even at pretty bad, so I'll leave her at that. Gary Johnson's next, and I'll put him at horrible because he is a libertarian candidate. You can't win if you're a third-party candidate. Probably not Amy Clark. Okay, huh? I don't know what you mean. I would do good or pretty good. I'm assuming you don't mean Gary Johnson. Marco Rubio's next. I would put him at pretty good because he will do well in the South, and he would win states like Arizona and Texas and Florida, of course, his home state, because he will do very well among Latinos. As I've mentioned in my recent videos, Latinos are falling out of the Democratic Party in crazy numbers. Marco Rubio will continue that, except boost that a bunch, like times 10. And Marco Rubio will do very well among the Latino population. He's really going to narrow up that minority vote. He's going to do well in the Sun Belt, but not necessarily with the white working class voters. So I do think that he would win against Biden. Hello, election. Oh, okay, so we have a bunch of people. So, hi, election forecast here. Election forecast, I'm not having any guests on right now. I'm sorry, just because of, I'm kind of in public. Star Wars, hello. I'm glad you're here also. I've been ranking. Here, I'll show you the list in a second. The election forecast. Rubio's time has passed. That's kind of true also, but he's still popular. He's still very popular. He's going to win re-election by wide margins. Everyone subscribe. Yeah, everyone subscribe to Minnesota Predictions. And here is the list so far. Andy Beshear, Whitmer, DeSantis, Ernst, Trump, Oprah, Youngkin, Abrams, Ducey, DeWine, Rubio, Paul, Cotton, Tulsi, Crenshaw, Sununu, Mike Lee, Paul Ryan, Scott, Booker, Pence, Klobuchar, Bad, Pompeo, Yang, Hawley, Hogan, Bennett, Sass, Newsom, Trump, Warren, and Adams, pretty bad, Inslee, Kennedy, Steyer, Cruz, Trump, Harris, Trump, very bad. We have Noem, Owens, Elder, and then horrible we have Carlson, Gates, Cuomo, and Johnson. Anyway, Pete Buttigieg is next. He did very well in the primary, but that doesn't really mean the general election. But I do think that he would do well in the Rust Belt. He'll win with Michigan and Pennsylvania, in my opinion, which will help him. But he's not popular among minorities in that at all. People forget how much the minorities carry the Democratic Party. Okay, and without that, you can't really win. I'll put him in pretty bad. We have some more comments. Rank Raphael Warnock, assuming he loses Senate seat after this year. All right. That would be a very bad because he lost his Senate seat. I mean, if you lose a Senate seat, then run for president, it's not really possible. May in 2024 will be interesting. Yeah. I'm probably. I mean, in the primary. Well, in the general election, I think it's going to be Trump versus Biden, and I'm not backing any of them. I hate them both. I'll definitely back a third party candidate. Hopefully, Andrew Yang runs. I'm a big fan of his, and I might go into this on a later live stream, but UBI is the way to go. Universal Basic Income is absolutely the way to go. When you really look at the numbers, it's obvious that we need a universal basic income. It would have so many positive effects. And we pay for this by imposing a value-added tax, which would place a good on like every Google search, every Amazon product sold, like everything small product sold. And that will help him a lot. And I mean, that's gonna hurt him a lot. And so yeah. And by the way, sorry, I'm just really tired. By the way, Bernie, Warren, all of them, they always talk about a wealth tax the rich. But they always say tax the rich. But you know how they plan to tax the rich? They do it by making a wealth tax. And little do the American public knows, a wealth tax does not work because businesses like Amazon, what they need to do is this is literally what they do. They put it back into their business, or they put it in their stocks, in their business's stocks, or they just put it back, their own money that they make from their business, they just put it back because this wealth tax is measured on how much money they make. Look, listen to me here because I really want you to support UBI. It's based off of how much money they bring in to their own wealth. But if they keep putting it back into their business, it's going to come back to them. But it is not taxed. You see what I'm getting? They are not taxed because they keep putting it into their business. A wealth tax does not work. However, a value-added tax will, because this is a tax that they cannot escape. It's based off of how much products they sell, and it's based off of the value of each product and how many are sold. They cannot escape it. And this, along with other things like downsizing the military, paying less for the military, this is how we pay for a universal basic income. Put them in bad for Buttigieg. I could see that, but I think it would be pretty bad. I don't see him doing that well. Andrew Yang of the Rock. Andrew Yang of the Rocks. I don't know if I know what you mean. Would you like better, Biden or Trump? I really hate both of them so much, but I guess Biden. Andrew Yang needs to be president. Samuel Jean, I have a feeling that we are a lot alike on political issues. I couldn't agree more. There is going to be an economic crisis in the war, and I think that Andrew Yang can do the best at recovering us and making our economy boom for another 50 years. I agree. I think that this Biden's inflation, I really think that this could turn into something a lot bigger. I don't think that people are realizing how maybe Republicans are, but for Democrats and some independents, I don't think that they're recognizing how wide that this could stretch. I think it's gonna stretch a lot. Enough to create somewhat of a depression. Andrew Yang, a lot of the reason why I like Andrew Yang, and you're saying this right here, is because of how intelligent he is. He is a smart guy. He cares about people, and he's a smart guy. So yeah, I think that he would be the best at recovering us from an economic depression. I think that if there's a big economic depression by 2024, then Yang could win a lot of votes. Bashir 2024, I could definitely go with a Bashir Whitmer ticket. You have a big Yang Gang following. Yeah. So especially on Twitter. On Twitter I have I'm honestly shocked about how much of a following I get on that app because I wasn't planning on going on it much, but I have 233 followers actually on Twitter. And a lot of them are the Yang Gang, some not, but I wouldn't probably around half is, half not. But yeah, join me or follow me at Yang Gang 2024. Search me up, I'll come up. I'm actually running a series of polls right now where election Twitter, aka ET, is voting for their favorite senators, and I'm running that vote, and I've gotten a lot of votes. And basically, you can like run polls, and there's 4 senators in each poll, and then whoever wins moves on. So I'm currently on round 3. Asaf, um, Klobuchar, Susan Collins, some Murkowski, few people remain. But yeah, it's getting pretty exciting. So again, at Yang Gang 2024, follow me there. Could the Forward Party actually win the state in 2024? I've said it numerous times, and I'll say it again. Maine 2nd District is really their biggest shot, what they're winning, because of their history of voting for reform candidates. But besides that, I really think that a state like Arizona, which has more independents, or which has mostly independents, is really a state that is possible to win. But especially like rural states like Montana, because Montana Republicans are very willing to vote for non-Republicans. And you know, Rust Belt, Michigan, that is definitely a reach, but still, New Hampshire could definitely be one that's possible. But yeah, we are due for a recession in the next 6 years. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a big economic thing. Andrew Yang and Andrew Yang, yeah. I mean, Andy Bashir and Andrew Yang, yeah. I mean Andy Bashir, Andrew Yang, Gretchen Whitmer, just about my 3 favorite politicians. I just released my new governor map. Oh, I have to look at that. Now back to this thing that I'm never going to finish. J.B. Pritzker, I'd put him in the very bad column because literally everyone hates him. He's going to win re-election just because he is the incumbent, and the Democratic establishment controls the state of Illinois like they have for like more than 100 years now. He's basically Richard Daley, but now it's how it is for every governor of Illinois who's a Democrat. So I'd put him at very bad because he is so establishment, and that's what he'll be seen as. Chris Christie I also put as very bad. Again, he has a terrible record, and he has a 13% approval rating at one point in New Jersey, and that is a serious problem if he's thinking about running for president. He did make comments that said that he might, but yeah. AOC would be very bad because of how radical she is. She would win a lot of, Bernie supporters, progressives, New York. She would win. Wow, we have 5 viewers. Thank you, guys. But, I mean, after that, it's like, where is she going? She's not really going anywhere after that because of how far left she is. She won't do well at all. Rick Scott is next, who I will put at probably mediocre because he's not like someone who people hate a lot. It's not like someone who Democrats like put on a sticker that says "This man ain't my son." It's not like that for Rick Scott, but he's nothing special, and he's not going to expand a bunch outside of the Sun Belt, so I'll put him in mediocre. Staryu says, I'm surprised Whitmer's doing well in the governor polls considering this year favors Republicans. Trump won Michigan in 2016. That is true. I don't know, Staryu, if you saw that Republicans were actually committing election fraud, in the state of Michigan in their primary, and they have all been taken off the ballot, including James Craig, who is like the figure of the Michigan Republican Party. Literally, he runs for everything. He's the face of the Michigan Republican Party. Oh my God, we have 7 viewers. Thank you. And so yeah, they've all been taken off the ballot. So I don't know if you saw that, but that's going to boost Whitmer a huge bunch. So the Michigan GOP now needs to find a new candidate to run. But I mean, there still are good people who are willing to say, we have a good governor. She has a good record, and we like her. She did what she promised, and we'll reelect her. There are some people left like that, some good people. And, those people will be the people voting for Whitmer in November. I don't know who that is. This is Condi Rice, actually, who worked in the Bush administration. I'll put her at pretty bad because she did heavily support the, sorry, I was looking at the comments, but she did support, like, the Iraqi invasion. She's so closely aligned with George W. Bush, who was so unpopular. that, yeah, she doesn't really have a shot. Get Minnesota predictions to 60 subscribers. Election forecast. I don't know if you're talking about the Twitter polls that I'm running. You said the deadline is over. It definitely is not. You might be looking at the round 2 votes, but look at the most recent ones. I don't know if you're even looking at that though. Yeah, sub to Minnesota predictions. Anyway, Michelle Obama's next. I mean, she doesn't have very much experience, so I'll put her at mediocre. A lot of people, a lot of Democrats like really like these people, but the most experienced business right now is a small business owner. That's insane, and yeah, in Michigan. So yeah, so I mean, Democrats really like her, but I mean, Republicans and independents are not crazy about her. She really isn't anything special. I'll put her in mediocre. Sean Hannity is next. Very bad. As radical as Tucker Carlson, but very radical. Steve Bullock. I personally adore Steve Bullock. That's just, again, my opinion. But he's up there for ideal, but I'll put him in very good just because he's the former governor of Montana. And Montana is a deep red state. Those candidates, like Andy Beshear, like Larry Hogan, those are the ones that are going to do well. And Chris Sununu is that, but except he is not seen as a progressive, and that will hurt him with the Bernie base. So I'll put him at very good. Well, I'll put him at pretty good because the Bernie base does take up a wide range of the Dem Party. Kimberly Butler in my county, but it looks like she barely got eliminated from a runoff by 15 votes. Wow, she was a small business owner that ran for House. Cool. The deadline is over in Michigan. Oh, okay. Oh, that's why I said no, Michigan. Oh, wow. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'll have to look into that. Let's see. Ben Shapiro's next. I'll put him at bad. He's not as bad as people think. He will turn out Republicans and a lot of young conservatives. They really like Ben Shapiro. That's his key, young conservatives. And of course, he's going to win, other conservatives. And I could see him possibly winning against Biden if Biden is unpopular. All right, our last person is next, Nikki Haley. I'm not doing the rest. I mean, she is ideal for the Republican Party. She is seen as a moderate, yet she will do very well with that Trump base, like very well, because of how aligned she is with Trump also. So, yeah. Oh, my God. And look at that. We are finally over. I need a second to, for my throat to stop talking. So get this all in. Look at it. Thank you, Samuel Jean. Okay, so yeah, how's Warnock not on the list of pictures? I seriously think Warnock may run. I agree with you. Warnock is definitely a potential candidate. Also, John Tester is definitely someone who, like we said earlier, is definitely someone who I see as a possibility. Are you going to do one on Friday? No, I'm not. There's not elections on Friday. One more, I think. It's only on Tuesday. So no, not one on Friday. I agree with 93% of it. Typo. So now is a Q&A. Any questions that you have for me, I would be really happy to answer. And in the meantime, I just really want to say thank you for being my subscribers. You really don't even know how much I agree with it. So let me tell you a little story. Thanks. Here, I'll keep this on. I'll scroll it down it. So now you got the bad candidates. So I posted maybe 2 or 3 videos. You can go to my oldest videos by clicking, you know how to get to it probably. Post a few videos. No one watched them. 2 views, figured they were just bots. About maybe even 2 years ago now. Wow. And it was like, what's the point of this? It was so annoying. there were issues with the phone I was using. I didn't know how to screen record or do anything on the laptop, so I was done with it. And then I had 0 subscribers, of course, maybe like my mom's account, which, my sister's, so I'd like 2. And I quit for a few months, and then I get a comment. I get a notification on one of my old videos that says, "Hey, where are you? I want to see more videos." Now, it's one of these people. I don't know if you have a channel. I know Minnesota Productions and probably Election Forecast knows, and Samuel Jean Productions, where like you get the notification that someone typed it, that someone made that comment. But when you actually click on it, it goes away on the video. It was one of those, and someone said, "Keep making videos," and it was one of those. I was like, "Oh my god." Someone actually cares. So that alone, just for that one person, I made a bunch more videos. I learned how to screen record, and eventually I got it. So I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for that one person. I don't know who it was. I forget who. Of course, I don't remember. But I thank God for that one person because this has been so fun to have 287 people, who actually like my videos. Staryu says, "You're welcome. I'm so to you because you are a young person interested in politics. I wish more young people cared about our country's future." I agree. So many kids say stuff about politics in my school, and it annoys me so much because they just repeat what their parents say. I heard this girl who has a portrait of Trump as her background, actually, talking to this other kid. And the other kid, a boy, he says, "I like Trump because he's not a politician. He's a businessman." Now, how many times have you heard that? How many times? How many times have you heard that? You know where they heard it? It's from their parents. They don't know why not being a politician is good. They just care about, or they just repeat what their parents say because they want to have an opinion about everything. And I try to promote Andrew Yang in my school and the Forward Party as much as I can. My grade is divided into teams, so I'm on green team, and I have these Andrew Yang sticker sheet, Yang 2020 stickers. So I gave them to as many people as I could and put them on our Chromebooks. And now people are starting to ask, "What does Yang 2020 mean?" And it's so awesome because kids who have them, they say, now probably around 20 kids have them on their laptops just in my one team. So people are now interested in it. Now more people want them. I'm getting more on eBay, so I can give them to more people, So it's awesome. And that is what I want. Yeah, that does happen. I don't know what. Yeah. I see what mine too. Yep. I literally decide politics from one of my people in my class. Yeah. Did you hear about Oklahoma? No. What's going on in Oklahoma? I have one friend, and we were talking about Stacey Abrams, and she asked me, "Do we like her?" Yeah, do we like her? It's funny. I only know one person in my entire school, one person who likes Biden more than Trump. My, it, like, I don't like either, but it's like, oh my God, I can't stand it sometimes. Like, no one agrees with me on policy. No one, except the Yang Gang. Like my liberal policy, though, no one agrees with me. It's sad. I'm made people love Hillary Clinton. Nice job. I really enjoy politics, and I love to talk to people about politics with other people. Other kids look up to me in class. Well, good for you. I made my mom say she wants Hillary to win. Nice. I convinced my mom to like Yang. There was a shooting in a hospital. Oh my God. 6 people. This is actually like a serious one. Oh my God. In a hospital. That's actually frightening. Yes. Oh my God. That is devastating. How many times does it have to happen? I am losing. Seriously. Who shoots up a hospital? That's sad. These are becoming too common. Nowhere is safe anymore. Evil people. This is. Oh my God. People are so dumb. Have you heard what Ted Cruz wants to do? Ted Cruz wants to have one door in every school. Thing. Yeah, Ted Cruz said doors are not being locked. That's why people are dying. He wants to put one door in every school, one entrance. He says that's going to solve the problem. Yeah, what about it during a fire in a school? Mr. Cruz, everyone has to go out one door. Yeah, kids will be burned alive. If I run for mayor, that isn't a problem, but if I run for council again, do you think that could hurt me? I don't. Oh, you okay. Update on my political future. I did pull on my page and I counted some that I didn't count for. Most of my followers live in my city, but not in my city. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that probably will hurt you. Oh, it's going to happen so much. So, I, alright, sorry about that. I'm back. So, Texas officials are horrible currently. I agree. Lock the door in house and what to yeah, during the storm. So, yeah, so this I'm losing more and more respect for the Republican Party due to gun control. Like, gun control is probably my main issue right now because they're just becoming too common. Like, it's really sad. And really, I like to look at the good and bad on both sides. I like to see where each side is coming from. But conservatives on gun issues, this is one I care strongly about, and they just don't have a good argument. They really don't. Like, I really think that whatever they put up, the fact of the matter is AR-15s and AK-47s should be banned, in my opinion. And there's nothing to argue that because there's no use for one. You don't need it for hunting. You don't need it for self-defense. If someone is intruding your home, you can have a handgun. I was just discussing it today. You can have a handgun. That will be fine. Yeah, these 21 people didn't deserve to die. And so much of the blame is due to people not doing anything about it. Oh, sorry, my recommendation is that you be in your release. For progress. Yeah, that's true. Only are against it because millions of dollars for the NRA. I want the NRA to be abolished so bad because it is ruining American politics because the NRA is the Republican Party now. Republicans, even liberal Republicans, will not go against the NRA because they fuel their campaigns. They are the gasoline of these Republican campaigns. They will never go against them. That's another reason why I've lost all respect for the Republican Party these days. They kiss up to the NRA so much, and none, not a single one, besides Adam Kinzinger, who I really like, is willing to go up against them, who is only a U.S. representative from Illinois. Now that redistricting is complete, aside from Florida's 5th district being litigated, do you have a House prediction for all the seats? I'm never going to make a House prediction because I really don't want to fill in other seats. But I will probably give an updates as they go on. I have the Republicans winning back the House. The Democrats, they only have 6 more seats than they need for control. So with the red wave, I definitely think that they're going to take it back. Anyway, those 21 people, yeah, already won from that. AR-15s need to be only for the military use and comment. They should not take it home. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, for fun, a weapon of war. Automatic weapons should be used only for combat. I totally agree. Every other country have basically no mass shootings. They have gun control. Yes, it's as simple as that. Like, we saw it in Australia. They had one mass shooting. They changed it. Okay, so 1 second. Okay, so I'm going to do these questions and I'm going to wrap it up real quick. Regarding guns, I just hope they keep so you can own a gun at 18. It isn't fair to force an 18-year-old to be drafted into the military, but ban them from owning a gun. So I disagree with this, and I disagree because of the fact that we don't allow them to drink unless they are 21. There are multiple things. They can't rent, they cannot stay in a hotel alone unless they are 21. A hotel. Now, what do you think is more dangerous? A hotel staying in a hotel, or owning a gun. Yeah, the gun. I don't think that the military should have any problem in this. I don't think that you should be able to go into the military until you're 21. In my personal opinion, that's just mine. So that's what I have to say. That I think that all assault weapons should be illegal, but if you want to own a handgun, you need to have background check and a mental check. Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, assault weapon should be illegal, and a handgun, I mean, it can definitely be necessary in cases, and you should have to go through checks to own it. This is serious. It's much more serious than purchasing a lottery ticket, than purchasing alcohol, than purchasing a hotel room. This is far more serious, and there should be checks for that. A society that allows its children to be murdered at school and has failed its children. But we can change and must change. That's exactly right. We do need to change that. So I'm now wrapping up this video. Thank you all who stayed with me. I really appreciated it. We had 7 viewers at one time. They cannot rent a car until 18. It's dumb. So yeah, thank you for being my subscribers. Thank you for watching this video. Again, this is my list. This is my tier list. Just look through there. And I hope to see you all soon. Don't know when I'll do my next live stream, but I hope you're there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time.